Okay, so I'm towards the end of my time here in the Cypriot capital, and I think I've got most of the projects done work-wise that I need to do. So now I'm going to do something a little more on the creative end of the spectrum, and I'm going to try out these LED juggling balls from Japan that I ordered before I left, and I got a spot that I think would be pretty cool on the GoPro, so I'm going to try it out and see how it works. So I spotted this old rock stone tunnel when I was just doing a random Insta story when I first got here last week, and I'm thinking this could be a pretty good locale to try these bad boys out. So this tunnel is the entrance to the Paphos Gate, and this stone structure is collectively known here in Nicosia as the Venetian Walls. These are a complex of bastions around the old city that date back to the late 1400s to almost the late 1500s, when the Republic of Venice, which was a mercantilist republic from northeastern Italy, had ruled Cyprus until it was eventually taken over by the Ottoman Empire. And I am going to try and film these LED juggling balls. Today is my last day in Nicosia. I finally got to head back to Larnaca, where the airport is and where I began my my time here on the island. And then I've got to decide. I think my options are either Beirut or Amman. I'm leaning on going towards Beirut, obviously, but it's an all-cash economy, so that's a bit of an issue because I'm on a very tight budget. There's no way to use a card there, as I understand it, except for maybe like booking a hotel on Expedia. So I've got to pack my bags, and I want to hang out here in Nicosia for a little bit more, and then catch the bus to Larnaca and figure out the next step here. One of the things about Nicosia is that there's so much going on all in such a concentrated area. This is like a disused guard post of some kind, and this is the buffer zone. This is where my walk begins. I am looking to find this abandoned house that I found the other day that is right on the perimeter of the green line. I don't remember exactly where it is, but I thought it would be a really good locale to film a little juggling thing before heading back to Larnaca. So now I'm just hoping to stumble upon it. I don't remember exactly how to walk to it, but I'm looking for visual cues. The streets here are very tight. Not something I'm terribly accustomed to back home. Oh, I see the craft beer place is getting some new beer. Nicosia is one of the most politically convoluted places that you can ever find in this world. It often, I was telling a local here the other day that it kind of reminds me of some of the cities in northeastern Syria, specifically Kamishlo and Hasaka. which are divided between the PED, which is the Democratic Union Party, and the Assad regime. And the cities are kind of a mismatch of barrels and all this kind of thing. Here I'm walking by the Ledra Street crossing, which is how people can walk to North Nicosia. It's been open now for 20 years, and there's quite a queue to cross to the Turkish side. So out of an abundance of caution, as a government might say, I have opted not to cross into the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus because I'm not entirely certain whether I'm welcome in Turkey proper, because of some of my work in Syria with militias that are supported by the United States, but which the government of Recep Tayyip Erdogan in Ankara considers terrorist organizations. So I just don't know if it's a smart idea to pop into North Nicosia for an afternoon just to get a Turkish lentil soup. I don't know if that could be trouble or not. I'm just being extra careful, which is kind of out of character for me because most often I'm kind of a risk-taking person, but I don't know. Right here on Cyprus, I'm just not really feeling that. And what I'm really referring to with being cautious in dealing with Turkish authorities in any manner is that Turkey is notorious for jailing journalists and blacklisting them, banning journalists from entry into the Republic of Turkey. And since the TRNC is a vassal of that, sort of a statelet, and I assume that the border is monitored by the MIT, which is the Turkish acronym for the intelligence services in Ankara. I just thought, you know what? I just don't know what the deal is. I've kind of been waiting for Erdogan to somehow fall out of power. Maybe this tragic earthquake that's killed over 33,000 will be the final nail in the coffin. Who knows? But it's one of those deals where I think it's better to be safe than sorry. I'm absolutely enthralled by the incongruities of Nicosia. Here you have this ultra modern, or perhaps postmodern, I'm not an architecture critic, box town hall that's kind of cool. It looks like something new you might see in Barcelona or somewhere else along the Mediterranean. And then here, just to the side, you have the bedrock of a 1,000-year-old Byzantine church. It's a tiny little chapel. It's just absolutely incredible here. There's so much to stumble. I walked by this the other day and didn't even notice it because I was going to shoot some photos along the buffer zone, and the site it's quite sizable. And then you come over here, and there is another church from Byzantium. And this I'm really curious about. So just outside this sort of 1,000-year-old archaeological site, and the city hall looks like it's less than 10 or 15 years old. And then just coming down the street here, there is this strange box thing that is just basically levitating in the street. This is one of the strangest things I've seen architecture-wise in a while. I mean, it's just absolutely bizarre. So walking around Nicosia without a guide and without an accurate map of the buffer zone, it's kind of hard to actually figure out what exactly is going on. So behind me, way up top, there is a Greek and Cypriot flag, which you would think that would indicate control of the Cypriot military. And then here, just through this razor wire, there is a UN marker. So that to me would seem to indicate this area is under UN control. It's just, yeah, it's kind of hard to understand. It makes the average person taking a walk feel like sort of one of those urban explorer types. Like this. It's a very pro-EU mural. Saint EU, Saint Europe. Here I am on a rump of what is left of Ermuz Street, which a veteran of the war named Demetrius that I met, who was a man who'd grown up in a village outside of Nicosia, told me that this was once the high street of the capital before it was divided. Now it's just it's kind of cute. It's fixed up a bit. There's not much of it left. It's just a couple of blocks long. But notably, there appears to be some sort of archaeological site literally underfoot in a protective covering in the middle of the sidewalk. And here at the end of Ermuz Street is a very narrow part of the UN buffer zone, and there, through the barbed wire, you can see metallic Turkish and Turkish Republic of Northern Cypriot flags, which I suppose you could say that is a form of political or geopolitical virtue signaling in today's parlance. So yeah, just endlessly fascinating. You could walk around here for days and still keep discovering things. So the other day I was walking around Old Town and I stumbled upon this old house that I found, and it's completely crumbling, but I thought it would be a cool spot to film a little juggling bit. And yeah, I just love this curvy stairwell. It's